breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Glad to be with you here today. We've got some stories to get into today, so let's go ahead and hop in without too much ado. So, Dow Jones, let's start with that today. It's up 0.68%, so pretty marginal. NASDAQ down 0.26%, also pretty marginal. Let's get into the first story. Government begins to reopen after House passes continuing resolution bill and following a signature by President Trump. Well, just what's kind of funny here to me is that the House, it wasn't that the House vote was down to one or two votes, but the House vote was 222 to 209. And that's kind of closer than I would have thought. I mean, this has been going on for 44, 45 days or something around that ballpark. And it's 209 congressional members decided to vote against it. I mean, that's kind of silly to me. But yeah, so let's read this New York Times article. Government here. Let me refresh this actually. Updated 15 minutes ago. The federal government was beginning to come back to life on Thursday after President Trump signed into law a spending package that narrowly passed the House. Yeah, so I guess they're kind of saying what I said too, ending the longest shutdown in American history. Okay, furloughed federal employees will have to come back to work, and some programs like food stamps could be restored within hours while effects could linger. So that's what's going on. Apparently, Transport Secretary Sean Duffy is going to continue to keep restrictions on flights, so kind of maintaining a 6% cut to air traffic, and so we'll see when that kind of gets lifted, but there's no timeline on that yet. Okay. And then there was this other article that I had queued up here, which is the one I have up right now. And so this is basically talking about how I guess there's a little bit of infighting in the Democratic Party with the latest votes both in the Senate and in the House. I guess in the House, several Democrats sort of broke rank and joined the Republicans, from what I understand. And this article is sort of going into why there's some infighting now regarding that. So let's read a little bit of this here. The bitter rebukes come from every corner of the Democratic Party. Moderate House members, progressive senators, self-described insurgents, and established candidates alike all express the same vehement opposition to the deal that 8 senators in the Democratic caucus struck to end the nation's longest government shutdown. So that's what happened in the Senate. And so anyways, without getting too much into the weeds there, it seems like there's a little bit of catfighting going on there. Okay, let's move on to the next story. So I don't want to harp too much on this because I actually did mention this about 2 weeks ago when there was that AWS deal between OpenAI and AWS for more compute, when CoreWeave was kind of in the news for also already having a deal with OpenAI with compute, Microsoft, etc. There's a lot of deals happening, and we know it's what's kind of interesting to me, and let me see if I can pull it up just real quick. We know Elon Musk said in the beginning of Project Stargate, which was all the way back in January, where I guess OpenAI sort of was announcing this Project Stargate along with the U.S. government, Elon Musk said they don't actually have the money. Now we don't know if Elon Musk is right or wrong, but I mean, we're seeing now, like 11 months later, 10 or 11 months later, well, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of momentum in the news regarding sort of, AI perhaps being a bubble, not unlike the .com bubble, or other bubbles like, I was going to say scooters, but there's a lot of examples of different kinds of bubbles. But anyways, yeah, okay. So in this article, it says perfect isn't good enough, and any sign of weakness is a disaster, justified or not. That's the current mood in the markets about the AI boom. Recent history suggests that the gloom won't last, but the shakeup serves as a strong reminder that the early years of AI pose a challenge for investors accustomed to measuring returns on a 12-month time horizon. Okay. Yeah. So that's sort of what's going on. This sort of general sentiment has been in the news for about, I'd say, a few weeks to a month now, and we'll have to see where this goes. Like, I'm almost like worried that I'm almost wondering if this is even being artificially pushed, perhaps, as part of some larger agenda to try and tank the U.S. economy. I mean, that's crossed my mind too. It's hard to say. We'll have to see. We'll have to let a little bit of time pass. But this has been sort of making some waves in this sort of space. Yeah. So okay. So and this is from me from about 2 weeks ago saying this with CoreWeave. Okay. And this was just me observing it, by the way, obviously not like intentionally or whatever. Like I said before, but okay, let's move on to this new story. Consumer Price Index Summary. So it looks like a new CPI came out, which increased about 0.3%. And so this is good for basically inflation control. So your purchasing power goes down just a slight bit. And what's kind of interesting is that economists expected around a 0.4% increase, and so the CPI actually rose less than expected, which is actually kind of favorable for a rate cut in December, and we can kind of see that in Polymarket, where if I refresh here, there's like a little jump for the BPS. Yeah. Well, when I last checked, there was like a little jump here for the BPS decrease. So it seems to have changed since the last time I opened this up, which was about a half hour ago. But anyways, at the time that the CPI was sort of, a new article, the 25 basis point decrease had slightly gone up. So in any event, it's still higher than the no change and the 50-point decrease and the 25-point increase. It seems like the 25-point increase is like kind of, bottom of the barrel, 0.5%. So yeah, but obviously the no change is what the other contender is likely to be. We'll have to see what'll happen. I mean, there's still a little bit of time between now and December 10th, but yeah. So I think that's all I'm going to say on that. Let's move on to just a couple of things I saw in TechCrunch today. Cash App debuts a new AI assistant that answers questions about your finances. This is kind of interesting because, well, I was kind of expecting a faster uptake of AI with stuff like this, and good for Cash App for finally getting it in there. But I mean, just connecting an API is, not anything crazy, like into your app. And it's like when I don't particularly think of Cash App as big tech, but if we put them in that category just for a second, you look at Apple, you look at Cash App, you look at all these other big tech companies. that are slow to the AI uptake. Like it's been 3 years since November 2022, and they're okay. Oh wow, so you basically give the AI prompt the users is like information, like in terms of like how much money is in their savings, Bitcoin, and checking accounts, and then it's like answer the question the user has, and the user asks a question. I mean, it's a very, very like simple layer above the OpenAI API, and it's like wow, it took 3 years to get that out. And so this is kind of representative of the entire sort of big tech market, though, big tech space, because again, like the slow uptake. And now you look at, like, for instance, Apple, they weren't even able to do it at all. At first, they made a deal with OpenAI, and then now they're saying they're going to make a deal with Google Gemini. It's like, okay, well, like, are you kidding me? Like, what happened to building everything in house? Don't you remember what happened to Apple Maps, where you decided to outsource it, and then you decided to like do everything yourself? Well, why did that change? So anyways, that's my take on that. Finally, it seems like Jack Dorsey funds Divine, of course, the former CEO of Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, a Vine reboot that includes Vine's video archive. So it seems like there's this new that they're trying to kind of bring Vine back. They've been kind of trying to do that for a little bit, but it seems like this new app called Divine has access to like an older backup from Vine, which was like this popular video sharing platform, kind of like a precursor to TikTok. Got shut down in like 2013, 2014, thereabouts. But yeah, hope to 2016. Hope to see it come back. Okay. I think that's it for the news. Let's go into Byte AI. Make sure to download Byte AI, byteai.me. Basically, it's a news aggregator and a financial investment co-pilot. Of course, it doesn't really give financial advice. That's not what it's used for. But it's meant to make more informed decisions as you trade. And you can also kind of see the AI's take on the technical indicators on news sentiment, as I said. But remember, past success doesn't guarantee future results. So that being said, let's hop into the first non-neutral thing. And that would be Tesla with RSI at 47. Okay, not very much below 50. Includes a mild underbought concern, and MACD is near the signal curve, the signal line with a slight bullish tilt. The stock is trading well within the Bollinger Bands with a narrow bandwidth, suggesting a lower near-term volatility and potential mean reversion towards the mid-band. Recent price action is negative, but the monthly performance is positive. New sentiment is mixed but modestly bullish, anchored by growth catalysts in AI robotics of Optimus. Okay, so latest Tesla sentiment shows a mixed but modestly bullish tilt. Yeah, okay. Robo-taxi ambitions. Okay, so let's open up Robinhood. And then I need an opportunity to sell, because I might not have enough cash on hand to get Tesla here, but let's see, how much are we working with? Oh wow, $34. Okay, I'm gonna have to put in something small, like $15. Okay, so there goes my buy order. I like to buy when it's red as well, so that's kind of nice. Okay. Amazon shows a strong contrarian. Amazon is displaying strong contrarian buy signals on several fronts. The RSI is at 29.9. Indicating very oversold conditions. Yeah, that's true, from baseline 50. While price is near the lower Bollinger Band at a tight near-term squeeze and narrow bandwidth context. These are classic setups for mean reversion towards the mid-band, especially when the MACD is near the signal line with only a slight bearish tilt. Recent coverage skews bullish for Amazon, anchored by AI and AWS growth catalysts. AI is a core driver for both AWS cloud demand and retail moat, with an ongoing capex to expand AI infrastructure, supporting long-term upside despite near-term margin pressure. Okay, so let's see, Amazon. Yeah, I'm just gonna put in $10 there. Also, a good time to buy seems like, for me. Again, this is not stock advice, but that's just kind of my stream of consciousness there, if you will. So we did Amazon. Microsoft shows an underbought setup at RSI 45. Price is well within the Bollinger Bands. New sentiment is neutral to mildly bullish due to AI and cloud momentum and partnerships. Okay. Broadly portrayed as neutral sentiment. Okay. I don't have enough capital to buy on that right now, so I'm going to hold off. And then let's do the last one, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is showing extreme underbought conditions at 24.28. Oh, wow. That's very low, which means it's a time to buy typically. Price is near the lower Bollinger Band in a narrow bandwidth, suggesting a squeeze that often precedes a bounce. That MACD is close to the signal line with a slight bearish tilt, indicating limited near-term momentum. But the overall setup favors a mean reversion rally given the deep oversold signal. The new sentiment is broadly neutral to mildly bullish. Oh well. Okay, there must be something going on here, but it's still reading in the back end most likely. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. So I think we can leave it there. Okay, I think it was just a loading thing. Yeah. Okay, so there the articles are. I think we can leave it there. I'm gonna go ahead and get this off the screen. Again, make sure to download Byte AI it's available as an iOS app and a web app, byteai.me. If you use the code podcast20 when doing the Stripe checkout on the web app, you get 20% off. So make sure to take advantage of that. And thanks so much for joining me here today. Good luck with your trades this morning and later this afternoon as well. All right, Dennis here signing off. Thank you.